last word on sports. First American Bank's 4th down on 4.
Meacham stole the ball. 10, 5, touchdown Saints. Throws deep down the middle. There's Meacham. Meacham in stride. Down to the 5, into the end zone. So here's the field goal attempt by Hartley one more time. They can't stop the clock now, and Hartley puts it up. And it is good. Let's go home, everybody.
Welcome in to 4th down, and this crazy train just rolls on and on and on. An improbable win in the nation's capital, helped along by a little luck, a lot of perseverance, and as Jim Henderson explains from D.C., maybe even some help from above.
It's been a season that had always suggested divine intervention, but never more so than today. The Saints needed some miracles, and their prayers were answered, beginning with the Drew Brees interception that became a Saints touchdown thanks to Robert Meacham.
We've been working on drills like that since we started, since OTAs, and defense always work on those type of drills, and you just watch it, and sometimes you be like, I think I might can do that, but I don't know. It just happened to go my way today.
That enabled the Saints to go to halftime tied at 17. Another came with 1:56 remaining, when Sean Sweezum lined up a chip shot 23-yard field goal for a 10-point Redskin lead that would be the last shovelful of dirt on the grave of the Saints' winning streak.
I knew you was going to miss it. I promise you. I was sitting against Nick Lecky, who was sitting right next to me. He's going to miss this. I was sitting on the bench, and I was like, he's going to miss this, and he missed it. Promise you.
You called the shot?
I called it.
That miss enabled the Saints to get one more chance, trailing by 7 from their own 20 with no timeouts. They were at their own 47 when Meacham became a hero once again in a more traditional way. A 53-yard touchdown strike, courtesy of some overzealous Redskins safeties.
They're great safeties, and they love to come up and make a big hit. And that's what happened. They kind of bid on the play fake, and when they bid on the play fake,
the Redskins still had time before Jonathan Vilma provided overtime with a crucial interception.
First, make sure I caught the ball, and then I tried to turn it up. But, I don't have hips like Reggie Bush. I can't get him across and get him straight ahead going. But, I was just excited that I was able to eliminate their scoring opportunity.
That enabled the Saints to cash in yet another bet in overtime. A short pass to Mike Sellers looked to give the Redskins the ball at their 36, but the Saints called a last-second timeout, enabling the replay assistant a chance at a closer look. Fumble, Sellers. Recovery, McAllister.
We felt like right away after the first replay, it's a catch, it's a hit, ball's out, it's on the ground, we recover, and they're on the ball now, and so I'm not hesitant to throw a flag. I just didn't have one to throw at that point in the game. And so we called a timeout just to see if we could slow things down and let everyone look at it. And fortunately, we got them to look at it upstairs. I don't think that would have happened if we didn't use a timeout.
And with that, you knew it was over. There was no denying that this team, this year, would pull it out. After moving it down to the Redskin 1, Garrett Hartley had the chance to give the Saints the lead for the first time in the game on the last play of the game. Mission accomplished, miracle completed.
Bottom line is I just wanted to come out here and perform well, regardless if just to help my team win. That's what I'm out here to do, and that's what they put me on the field. And it's just amazing coming out here and just having the opportunity to do that. Your first day back.
NFC South champions, NFC's top seed still. NFC champions, Super Bowl champions, who knows?
I definitely believe in destiny, and I believe in karma, and what goes around comes around. And I think just the fact that we've been on the other side of this deal probably too many times, and maybe it's our time. That we start catching some of the breaks and start being the team that wins them like this in the end.
In Landover, Maryland, at FedEx Field, Jim Henderson, 4th down on 4.
Quick look at the stats. Brees racking up 419 yards through the air, 2 scores. Not a good day rushing for the Saints. Only 55 yards on the ground. Mike Bell led the way with 34. Robert Meacham, though, a career high in catches and yards today. He even had a takeaway, one of 4 in the game for the Saints. We welcome in the studio now Larry Holder from CBSSports.com to talk more about this 33-30 overtime win. You can't say comeback anymore. We use that for Miami, but probably one of the more impressive wins you've got to say since when?
I don't know if I'm gonna call it impressive, but it may be. It's one of those wins where it seems like when you're winning, these are the things that happen, and it's.
I mean, that's the same, but they were both today. I mean, you look at it, that punt I thought kind of summed it all up. Morstead's punt, the guy's trying to dodge, hits him in the back. Usama Young recovers, and then that leads to maybe even one of the more bizarre plays in the interception to Robert Meacham, and then Sean Sweetson, we were talking about this off camera. Sean Sweetson's a very good field goal kicker. He missed an extra point. You get the feeling that when these things start happening, that maybe there is something a little bit bigger to this season.
Right, and you know Sean Payton's never going to admit this ever, but that's the sort of breaks you get when you're winning. I mean, they're banged up. They have they come out ill-prepared really for this game, and they just get the job done almost, I mean, it's almost miraculously they got this job done.
The play Robert Meacham makes, that's as big a play as we'll probably see all year. Oh, yeah. Can you kind of compare that to anything that you can remember? I mean, I'm thinking of the Bluegrass Miracle. I'm thinking of, I mean, these types of plays. I thought that's how big that was.
Oh, there's no question. Without that play, they have the ball with momentum, and it's such a huge point swing right then and there. It's going to be the play that you look back on this year if the Saints happen to go all the way. If they do, and I mean, the more we talk about this, the more that's starting to sound like more reality than fiction. That's the play you're going to look back on and say, wow, that could have easily, turned the tide, but kept you going and gone all the way, really.
A running game that was kind of non-existent really until that final play when Mike Bell was able to cinch it in overtime, but an offensive line that was able to kind of hold some defenders back long enough, but still, Drew Brees over 400 yards passing because of some of the protection he got from that offensive line. Jim Henderson caught up with right tackle John Stinchcomb in the locker room.
Well, John Stinchcomb in the locker room of the NFC South champions. You've been through a lot of rough times with this team, one of the elder statesmen on it. How does it feel to win the NFC South and to win it in this way?
It's so special. This is our 12th game. We still have a quarter of the season left, and to know that we've already clinched a very tough division, it feels good, especially to go out there and fight, scratch, tooth and nail to pull one out. It makes it special.
What did you learn from the Miami game that maybe you took into this one?
Just to never quit. We're not one of those teams that we cash in our chips early. It's going to be 60 minutes, and today was a little extra, but we come to play, and they're not all going to be pretty, but I think to beat us, you have to play a full game, and today we were able to pull one out.
I think the fans feel that more and more there's evidence that this is, I don't know, for lack of a better term, a team of destiny. The way things happen for you today, some of the breaks that you got in such a crazy game, does that feeling pervade this locker room to any great degree?
I think so. I think we have a team full of believers, not only in a hire, but also in each other. In this locker room, you've got the faith of the man next to you, and there's an accountability that comes with that. So there's definitely something special going on here.
John, congratulations.
Thanks so much.
Back here with Larry Holder, CBSSports.com. You talked about looking like they were ill-prepared, but I think you've got to look at Sean Payton as he managed this game. I thought as good as he had. Didn't throw a single challenge, which is something very rare for him, but the timeout in overtime to let the booth look at that one fumble, I thought that was a great call.
Oh, that's the best call of the day. And I do say that we talk about them looking ill-prepared. I honestly think they were. I was joking around maybe with some of our colleagues throughout the media and saying, oh, this seems like they're taking the Redskins lightly. Payton to kind of have the know-all, and I mean, we've been on Sean Payton's case a lot for calling those ill-advised challenges, for him to make the timeout, and for that fumble to be called a fumble. I'm expecting, all right, incomplete pass, 3rd and 5, rather than a 3rd and 1, and they come out and say, oh no, we're calling it a fumble. I mean, that's somebody's on the Saints side this season.
Yeah, as much as everything was going wrong early, it started going right for them at that point. Larry Holder, CBSSports.com. Much more on the Saints' huge overtime win in Washington after the break. Stay with us. Still ahead, Garrett Hartley nailed the game winner in his first start of the season. Should he kick the ball the rest of the way? We'll discuss. And later, despite losing... Despite the saying, Garrett Hartley proved today you can have a second chance at a first impression. Last season as a rookie, the Oklahoma product, a perfect 13 of 13 on field goal attempts. He started this season, however, suspended for the first 4 games, then was inactive for the rest until today. Garrett Hartley had to wonder if he'd ever get another chance. But some missed hits by John Carney of late, coupled with Hartley's big hits in practice, prompted a kicking change today at the Capitol.
Garrett, really to his credit, not as much because John has been doing a good job, but Garrett really has been exceptional during the week in practice, and we made the move today based on how he's been practicing.
It carried over Sunday. The second-year pro blasted his first 3 attempts of the season down the middle and with room to spare. Every shot pressure-packed, but a Hollywood ending for Hartley would have to wait.
Look what happens with Hartley here. He's going to take a divot out of the ground. I mean, he hit that thing fat.
I wanted that so bad, and then you know, I didn't catch it the way I needed to from that far out.
His hero moment would come.
Keep us at 12-0 now.
This is the second time Sean Payton has given John Carney's boot the boot. The first time after the 06 season led to a kicking carousel that finally stopped with Hartley. This time around, Payton says he'll keep his standby on retainer.
We'll continue to work with both of them, and both of them can help us win games.
He's been such a great mentor through ins and outs of everything, and it's amazing to have the opportunity that we did tonight.
Hartley, a perfect year a year ago. He helped keep perfection intact today. 3 for 3 on PATs, 4 of 5 on field goals, including the game winner. Well, it could have been a move that might have sealed Sean Payton's fate, but it turned out to be a right move when it comes to a kicker, letting Garrett Hartley be active, deactivating John Carney. The writing was kind of on the wall here, and he alluded to it, how well he was kicking, speaking of Garrett Hartley in practice now. But when you initially saw it, were you surprised at this move?
I was not surprised at all. And during the Tuesday press conference after the Patriots game, after Carney had his hiccups again, I posed a question, and then after that there was a line of 5 or 6 questions wondering what are they going to do with the kicking situation. You say if John Carney is active, do you even try the 58-yard field goal? No. You have no confidence that he's going to even make it 40 yards, much less 58. So for that, I mean, it's just almost the perfect move at the perfect time, because you're not going to have faith in John Carney to do that. You've got a little more faith in Garrett Hartley to do that.
Do you think the play calling in overtime at the end of the game, once Washington tried to ice Garrett Hartley for a second time, Sean Payton brings his offense back out, runs the football? I thought that was a bit, I think, move it up a little bit closer. Do you think he would have done that with John Carney as his field goal kicker?
You know, I'm not sure.
I mean, did you take that from going forward after they tried to ice him in overtime?
Maybe. No, I would take it that they're maybe trying to give him better field position, get him closer, because let's face it, Garrett Hartley has never had a pressure kick in the NFL until today, and he had 2 today. One was from 58 yards, which if he makes that, that's almost a miracle kick. That's low, very low percentage. But he's never been in a situation in the NFL to do that. His first game back. Why don't we get him closer, get him lined up in the middle? That's why they kind of run. But some of those runs broke free, so why not keep punching it at him and try to get closer?
All right, we're going to have a little fun before we let you go. LHolder_CBS_NBA, that's your Twitter account. We're going to go through Larry twittering during the game a little bit early. This says, shows you no more than ever that the Saints needed home field advantage. Early on, it kind of looked like that, especially Drew Brees' record under 40 degrees outside. But, boy, and you alluded to this earlier. Why do the Saints look lost? They scaled back practice this week with 1 full day. The practice schedule's all on Sean Payton. They were not prepared. But then one of the last tweets that you tweet before the game is over, and I love this one. I know this is coming. If the Saints win, ignore everything I just tweeted.
Hey, I'll admit if I'm an idiot, you know. That's no problem. I've been called an idiot by the head coach. I've been called an idiot by whoever else. It doesn't matter, you know. I'll take it.
You're not an idiot on 4th down on 4. You're always a great contributor. We appreciate you coming down.
Yeah.
Right. Larry Holder, stick around. There's more 4th.
'Tis the season of miracles. You might have thought so last Monday. I mean, did you ever think you would have a better week ahead of you than Tiger Woods? You have to know so this Monday, when no NFL fan in the country deserved to wake up with a bigger smile than a New Orleans Saints fan. After what happened yesterday afternoon in Landover, Maryland, you just knew the Vikings had to lose to the Cardinals last night in Arizona to give the Saints a 2-game lead in the race to be the NFC's top seed. Of course they would. Of course they did. How could they not when everything else that had to break right for the Saints did previously? Change kickers, and if Garrett Hartley misses one of the 4 field goals he made, you lose. Of course, he didn't. Thomas Morstead, who's been wonderful this season, hits a 27-yard punt in the second quarter like he's kicking a medicine ball, and the Saints get the ball back when it comes down on the back of an unsuspecting Redskin blocker. The Saints are able to continue marching downfield in the final 2 minutes before Drew Brees aims a desperation pass at Jeremy Shockey, only to see it intercepted by Kareem Moore, who has it stolen by Robert Meacham and returned for a 44-yard touchdown. Upstairs, the interception is challenged. Down on the sideline for perhaps the only time in his career, Brees is hoping he did throw an interception, and he did not throw an incompletion. Replay confirms the call on the field. Who would have thought the Saints' 9th return for a touchdown this season would come from a wide receiver returning a fumble? This just might be our day. Fourth quarter, and it's not looking like it. Redskins about to put it away, leading 30-23, first and goal at the New Orleans 4. Run for a yard, run for a 2-yard loss, run for a yard. No touchdown, but no problem. A chip shot field goal gives the Redskins a 10-point lead with less than 2 minutes to play. Sean Sweezum could kick a 23-yard field goal with his eyes closed. Might have been better off if he had. With eyes wide open, he stares in disbelief at a 23-yard field goal sailing wide right. Not even close. Of course, the Saints would score to force overtime. Of course they did. Of course, the Saints would find a way to win in OT. Of course they did. With the replay booth challenging a down-by-contact call on the field. Play reversed, Saints ball. 8-play, 36-yard, game-ending drive on Hartley's 18-yard field goal. What a difference one little preposition makes. Games like this used to always happen to the Saints. Now they happen for the Saints. The most bizarre loss in Redskin history, they're calling it there today. The most bizarre win in Saints history, they're celebrating here. Before the game, Redskin coach Jim Zorn implored his team to dig down deep. It just wasn't quite deep enough to bury the still undefeated and newly crowned champions of the NFC South, your New Orleans Saints. And we'll be chatting about that coming up on our web at 6:30. On more of a downer of a note, Pete Richardson fired as the head coach at Southern today.
Okay, thanks, Jim.
Saints survive in Washington, surviving some mistakes and profiting from some Redskins miscues in tonight's breakdown. The Redskins made a point of picking on Saints rookie Malcolm Jenkins. Here, Santana Moss goes in motion, and Jenkins goes with him, meaning it's man-to-man coverage. The Saints have been much improved in short yardage, but not against the Redskins. Watch Cornelius Griffin long hand. He should have switched the ball to his left hand. If he had done this, he would have been able to fend off Meacham with his right. The Saints at Falcons, noon at kickoff Central Time on Sunday. Well, confidence is an incredible thing in football, and Sunday in Washington, 2 teams on the polar ends of that spectrum were on the same field. Maybe we aren't having this conversation if Sean Sweezum makes that 23-yard field goal. Maybe we aren't having this conversation if Washington was aggressive on first and goal from the 4-yard line. Can you imagine the Saints running 3 times and settling for a field goal? Washington coach Jim Zorn and his play caller Sherm Lewis played that series like coaches who are trying to hang on to their jobs. They played that series like a team that doesn't have complete confidence in its quarterback, even though that quarterback threw for 367 yards and 3 touchdowns. After the miss, you knew, the Saints and the Redskins and their fans knew, the Saints were going to win the game. It took all of 33 seconds to go 80 yards and tie it. Sunday football was played between the lines and also played between the ears.
It seems that this team, this Saints team, is winning games the way other teams that have wound up in the championship circle. You take advantage of the other team's mistakes.
It's kind of like a roller coaster, buddy, a good roller coaster.
Certainly is.
Yep.
Thank you, Eddie D. We'll be right back.
You're watching